Was that a change in policy that to let us in for the first 10 minutes, or is that just being nice?
Not a change in policy, and I don't know if I'm that nice, but no, it was start of the spring kind of a deal, and we were out there for 10 minutes, and then you guys let it start raining and lightning and thunder, so we had to go inside. But yeah, hopefully you got some good shots.
How would you characterize this first day versus other first days you've run here?
Good. It was, in conservative terms, the best. But I think just in terms of, schematically being that much further along and kind of putting a little bit more on some of the older players, I thought as a first day, our effort and our attitude were excellent. I think probably across the country you're going to find 100 and however many guys that are going to say that. Yeah. Again, we just talk every single day about better. And if we can continue to improve on all the things that we talked about at the end of practice and throughout practice, we'll be in good shape.
What are those things that you really want to work on?
There's a million things. I think generically blocking and tackling. We have to be better on both sides of the ball, and in special teams in that regard. On both sides of the ball, there's some leadership voids that a bunch of probably all-time kind of guys left on both sides in that regard, and those voices have already risen up, and the credibility both in the weight room and on the practice field has already shown, and so that's an encouraging sign. And then there's 10,000 little things, and a lot of them are me getting better.
That leadership, is that something you try to manufacture yourself, or is that player-based?
It has to be player-based. You can simulate and create situations for leaders to arise, but you can't fake it. That's something that those guys know immediately. If you anoint somebody a leader that's not a leader, that doesn't have credibility, that's fake. And so that's something that just has to happen.
Who's stepping up for you in that role?
Well, DeForest Buckner has been great. Jeff Lockie has been great. I've noticed a bunch of receivers talking and doing some good things. We have another situation where we have a lot of great guys that are quiet by nature. I think Royce Freeman's a great example. Royce Freeman kind of goes in that category of you can't manufacture it, but when that guy shows up, just how he works, his one-on-one character is outstanding. All the interactions he has are great, and now he just needs to influence more people. Rodney Hardrick has always done a good job. Defensive back is a place where there's a lot of competition, and those guys are coaching each other up well without a true leader stepping up right now, and that's fine.
What goes into the decision to move a guy like Charles to DB?
Yeah, just trying to create some competition. I think Charles is a guy intellectually and football-wise, he's a very, very smart kid, and he could move back and not miss too many beats, which is not normal. And just his skill set and his attitude was tremendous. And when you start to talk to a guy about a position change, a lot of times it's, well, yeah, I'll do it. But in his case, it's, yep, I'm in. And he's a great teammate and loves to compete and run and hit. And so we'll see.
Darren Campbell's out there running around today. Is there any clarity you can offer about how long that ineligibility might last, or if he has appealed at all, or?
We don't have any clarity. No, that's kind of something that will be ongoing, behind the scenes. And if we do ever get any clarity, we'll probably announce that. Yeah.
Good to see Braylon Addison back out there again today.
Yeah, we had a bunch of guys, that were back out there for the first time, unfortunately, after some guys. Tyler Johnstone is another guy that I should have mentioned in terms of being a vocal leader. He was another guy that was back out there. But yeah, definitely some rust on some of those guys, but it was enthusiastic rust.
Are you guys cautious with the workload those guys have?
Absolutely. And Charles is another guy that we have to be conscious of, because if it was his choice, he would play every snap on both sides of the ball and every special team. And I was talking to a couple of the sports medicine people and Rad afterward of like Charles, like Keenan Lowe. Keenan didn't want to take one rep off, and he's a guy that you have to pull back on, and that's a good thing.
You talked about being
would you like to have a pecking order at quarterback coming out of the spring, or would you prefer to have a five-way tie?
5 ways too many. Yeah, I don't think we'll have a 5-way. I've never seen a 5-way. That'd be interesting though. That stuff just kind of happens. I think again you can't fabricate it, but you can certainly put those guys. You want to put them kind of at the same time in a generic, set of plays and that kind of situation, but you also want to put them absolutely what they do best and have the most confidence in, and that's where you just kind of, throughout the spring and throughout fall camp, that will play itself out.
Talk about knocking off the rust. How about for the staff itself? Any changes in how you organize practices, how you divvy up responsibilities, how you follow up with kids?
We're doing a few things differently, going back to the blocking and tackling kind of emphasis of making sure every coach touches every player. And so if I'm on offense and defense, so if I'm the defensive back coach, a couple times I'm coaching the linebackers or the front, and a lot of that is carryover, not only defensively, making sure everybody's hearing the same terminology the same way, teaching the same thing the same way, but a lot of that carries over to special teams as well.
Anybody you're excited to look at based on their off-season work?
AJ Jacobson.
Well, yeah.
Anybody I'm excited to look at? Obviously I was excited to see Charles and Ugo out there for the first time today, and they both did some really good things, and they both at times looked like it was their first day. A bunch of the wideouts, again, some really great things and some things that we need to improve upon. But we'll go back and watch the film here in a second.
What does make Braylon back? I kind of asked one of the leaders on offense. Is that Braylon back?
He's one of the guys out there. He's out there working, and I think his role will be established as he, as he demonstrates it on the field, just like anybody else.